Good morning. Here we are back again at my house. Been working on a video for you about the cabin build. It's kind of long, getting a few things figured out on the editing side, but basically we start out with a bare piece of land that my wife and I found and bought in March a few years ago, and couldn't get into till June with any kind of equipment or vehicle or anything like that. So we had to wait, gave us a chance to make a plan. And so the original plan was to just put a spot for her camper. Well, a couple of years ago, lumber prices were at record lows, so we decided to go for it. I mean, OSB was $7 a sheet when we built the cabin a few years ago. So this video is a lot of the building of that cabin. I hope you enjoy it. Hit like, hit subscribe. We'll see what happens. Enjoy. This is the property when we first saw it, getting ready to buy it. Not a lot to see here, but a lot of snow. The one thing that we knew is it checked all the boxes. It had a creek, it had minimal neighbors, it was acreage, and it bordered national forest. The only problem was the access. It was definitely overgrown. There was a hint of an old roadbed, a lot of alders, and a lot of brush. So we got to work getting everything cut out and making a plan. So we picked up an 18-inch culvert to get across the creek, dropped it off, and then went and rented a Mini X with a 7-foot backfill blade to start the groundwork. We had to cut the hill, fill the valley, put a switch back in so that we could get up to it, plus rip out stumps. It was a lot of work. We got a lot of work done in the 2 weekends that we had that thing rented. And like I said, it took a couple of times to do it because we did it once and still couldn't get our trailer up to the cabin site. So had to take a few more trees out, fine tune it a little bit, and then we finally got it where we needed it. We actually mocked up the cabin in the driveway so that when we got to the property, we could just put it together in kit form. The pitch we decided on for this A-frame technically qualifies the roof as a wall. It has a snow load in excess of 90 pounds, which we figured would be fine since it's in a snowy area. It's a little steep to work on and ended up a little on the tall side, but we figured out how to get everything taken care of. This is my daughter and I putting the last little bit of tar paper up before we started putting the steel on. Like I said, a little steep, but it was worth it in the end. The steel was originally going to be the full 20 feet, but we had it cut in half because it was just too difficult to get it up onto the roof and into place to screw it down. We had to rent some scaffolding to get the windows in up top and do a couple other things because the peak was just so steep you couldn't get a ladder up there and still work. One of those things we didn't expect, but we got that done and figured out. So that's how we built the cabin. As you saw, the first winter it was dried in. It had Tyvek windows. It was weather tight, but it was not insulated. And believe me, the first time I spent the night in it during hunting season, I knew it. That little wood cook stove was chugging along and not doing much. We put some plywood and some OSB along the bottoms of the walls, just, because we were hoping to find some rough cut lumber or something that we could finish the rest. We didn't want it to snag our furniture or snag our sleeping bags. But then, as we all know, COVID happened. Well, once COVID happened, we got stimulus money. So we bought a sawmill. The sawmill is what we use to make the siding for the outside, the board and batten, and the interior boards. So in the next videos, we'll show how we put that together, how we got the sawmill running, some of the interior work, and I think on the Instagram, I've already showed the chicken coop that I milled with it. If you ever wanted to get into building something like that, I recommend a sawmill. Ours is just the cheap Harbor Freight one, and you can get the blades from any outlet out there. And yeah, it's just like mowing the lawn, really, once you get the log up on it. But I think it's a good investment, and it's been great for us. And so in the next few videos, you'll see some of the things you can do with that, and we'll eventually get caught up to where it's actual videos instead of compilations, and it'll probably be a heck of a lot more entertaining. Thanks again for watching. We're also on Instagram if you want to see some of the shorter stuff. So hit the like, hit the subscribe. We'll see you soon. Night.